Hey guys, what's up? So I have been sick going on 9 days now. I feel fine. It's over, but my voice sounds like crap when I try to sing, so I figured I would save you guys having to listen to subpar Emily sing and just talk with you guys about my journey through grief and what's helped me, what I've done to try and navigate through losing somebody very close to me, and hopefully help some of you guys who are going through what I am going through, went through, etc. Everybody's sorry, that's my dog. Everybody's journey through grief is different. So what works for me and what has worked for me will not necessarily work for you, but it could help somebody, so I'm still going to talk about it. Like, everybody's timeline is different and how people deal with things is different, so, you know, this isn't like the Bible of how everyone deals with grief. So don't take it as like this is how everybody should be at all. My mom has dealt with the grief completely differently than I have, so, you know, different people are different. I also want to preface this. I will possibly be talking about obviously grief, but also I was physically assaulted, and I will be talking about that and some suicide related topics. So if any of those things are triggering for you, you probably should not watch this video. But if you have lost somebody close to you and you're trying to figure things out, hopefully this will help you in some way. Maybe not in entirety, but hopefully you can take something from this video and it will help you. Okay. So, some of you know I lost my younger brother. It's been about 3 years now, a little over 3 years. He was 19 when he died. A drunk driver ran a red light one Sunday afternoon in May, and that was it. And although I can't really put into words like exactly the sibling relationship I had with my brother, because honestly it wouldn't do it justice, I figured I would talk to you guys about, you know, just a little bit to give you an idea. So my parents divorced when we were both really young, and we lived with my mom predominantly. My mom struggled with money pretty much our entire upbringing. And then when I was 13, my dad moved halfway across the country. And through everything, it was me and Philip. You know, that was the constant. And my mom started really struggling with money to the point where she couldn't take care of my brother and I on her own anymore. And I had been contemplating going and moving out to live with my dad. And I figured Philip would stay with mom because he was definitely a mama's boy. And so I remember talking to him, and like we were gonna have to move in with my aunt, and I was like, hey, you gotta help me talk to mom. I really don't want to share a room with you, no offense, because we were gonna have to share a room. And he was like, he knew that I had been thinking about it, and I remember him saying like, well, if you're going, I'm going. And I was like, what? Because he did not get along with my dad. And that was when I realized, like, mom wasn't his number one. I was his number one. I was the most important person in his life, and like he would do anything to stick by me. And that was the moment our relationship really changed, because up until that point I bullied him and picked on him, and I was not a good sister to him. And I still made some mistakes even after the fact, but at that point it was really like, oh, I'm his best friend. And we ended up moving and living with my dad for 5 years, and during that 5 years, Philip and I became extremely close. The best way I can describe it is we talked about each other like we were twins instead of brother and sister. Twins have like this different connection than siblings, and if you've ever watched or heard twins talk about their relationship and how it's different, what they talk about is exactly how Phil and I felt. It was just we became best friends, and he was the most important person in my life, and I believe I was the same for him. And so, just going through life together, we just became close and relied on each other and leaned on each other. And I remember when I was 19, I went through, I was in an abusive relationship with this guy I dated. We only dated like a little over a month and a half, I think. And a month and a half in, he physically assaulted me. And thankfully, it was still pretty new at that point, so I had enough sense to get out. But the repercussions after that were horrible. I remember being so lost and so overwhelmed and trying to find help and talking with these people that, were my friends at the time and my family, and explaining to them what happened and just trying to, deal with it. And I had so much hurt inside, and I was just trying to get help. And I'd say a good 80% of them blamed me and said it was my fault for putting myself in this situation and not being careful. And that's so horrible to do to somebody. I was only 19 when it happened. I didn't know, so I believed him. Okay, it's my fault. And that thinking led to thinking, oh, well, if it's my fault, I deserved it, which led to, oh, I'm a horrible person because I deserve to be treated like this, and which then led to, oh, I'm going to continually be treated like this because it's what I deserve, which then obviously led to thoughts of suicide. Who would want to live knowing or thinking, because of what people were saying to them, they were going to be abused the rest of their life? Of course that would happen. And I remember Philip was one of two people that really actually was no, actually, it's not your fault, Emily. You're a beautiful, amazing person. You did not deserve this. He's in the wrong for putting his hands on you. And really, was no, that's not true. And honestly, it's because of him I'm still here. But also that I got through that and found myself again and am who I am. It is so much because of him, but especially in that situation. So, especially after that, it was okay, this is my person that I'm going to go to for everything, screw everyone else because they don't know what the hell they're talking about. And it was really like, okay, it's us against the world. So, I mean, hopefully that gives you an idea, like, how much he meant to me. But also, like, he was the most incredible human being ever. Like, you know, he did that for me, but he also did that for all the important people in his life, all his friends and family members, and just anyone and everyone he was there for. He was encouraging them. He was telling them how amazing they were and they could do it, and to not give up, and, you know, everything. Like, he was doing that for so many people. So, yeah, it was hard for me to lose him, but, I mean, the world lost, I mean, for me, the most incredible person I've ever known, ever. He was amazing. Talented, he played violin, he was an incredible musician, and just the brightest light ever. He also was super goofy, and he was just like, people didn't understand him because he was, you know, weird, but he didn't care. Like, okay, I'm weird, sure, whatever, but this is me, and I'm gonna be me, and if you don't like it, you can, you know, get out of here. Like, there's the door. And I wish so much I could be that kind of person that's just unapologetically themselves and doesn't care what people think. You know, it was amazing. And how everyone should live their life. You know, if you're not hurting anybody by being yourself, then why the hell not? Like, for me, the first 2.5 years were really hard. And only recently have I really started making strides toward, you know, living my life. So it's really hard, and if you're going through it, I'm so sorry. It's so hard, and I wouldn't wish it on anyone. If you have a friend who's dealing with grief, or a family member who lost somebody close to them, it feels like there's no words, and there's not. But it's important that you say something anyway. I know there were so many people that disappointed me because they didn't know what to say. And now I understand, but, like, don't be that person. Like, if you know somebody is grieving somebody, just say something. Like, don't be the person that says nothing. But okay, so right after Phil passed, I had some really great friends that took me in and took me out drinking, and I drank a lot, safely, and that was the first 3 months, I would say, after Philip passed. I drank a lot, and cried a lot. But when I was not drunk, I was constantly helping my parents and helping anybody and everyone except for myself with dealing with the loss of Philip. I don't know, it just helped me get my mind off my own grief, I think, and so that's what I did. And I started dating this guy. It would have been like 7 or 8 months after Philip died, and he had also lost a brother, and I got comfortable, to be honest with you. I told myself I was now just going to be alone forever, because who's going to want to date the girl grieving the loss of her brother? Like, that just seemed like so much baggage, and I don't know, I felt like it made me undesirable. And so that's what I told myself, and that's who I was. And so when I found this guy that had a brother that died too, I was like, oh, well, here we go. This is it. This is who I'm supposed to be with. And it was easy, it was comfortable. I didn't have to apologize for getting upset. I didn't have to get better. I didn't have to push myself or challenge myself. He hadn't really dealt with his own grief, so I could just be sad whenever I wanted to, and you know, it was easy. But after about a year of dating, that was right around the time that Trump started running for office, and I started to realize I was dating somebody extremely racist and extremely sexist, and I got to a point where I was like, I could not even look at him anymore because of the things he was saying, and thankfully got out of that relationship. And then when we split up was when I really started to find myself again and become the Emily I was, like not even the Emily I was before Philip died, but the best version of myself that I could be, and started pushing myself to overcome my grief and do better. And it was never with the intention of, oh, I have to make myself, you know, presentable for, you know, whatever next guy I date. It was for me. I have always been the kind of person that pushes themselves and wants to be better and sets goals. And when Phil died, that all went out the window. It was, well, I'm just going to try to get through each day and do the best I can. And so, you know, it was a good, that two and a half year mark is really when I was like, I can do better than this. I deserve better than this. Just because I lost my brother does not put a brand on me. It doesn't mean I have this like cloud over my head that everyone can see. I decide who I am. I decide what kind of life I get to have, because I get to decide how I respond to every and any situation that life puts in front of me. And it was like really empowering, and like, hell yes, I can have whatever life I want to have. I stepped away from music for 2 years and finally started singing again. And oh my gosh, it was amazing. I felt invigorated and like I had refound my purpose. And I tell people, like, even though Philip's gone, I can still feel him here. I still feel him with me. And I really felt his pride in me when I started playing again and singing again. Because, I mean, that's what I've always been meant to do. And I know that he is so proud of me, and this is what he would want. He wouldn't want me to be sad and to leave music behind and use him as an excuse to be mediocre. He'd be so mad at me. You kidding? So, I don't know. I really felt him smiling down at me when I finally started playing and singing again, and really felt like he was like, yeah, Emily, this is it. This is the next part of your journey in your life. And I don't know, I knew, like, yeah, this is what I'm supposed to do. How could I have ever given up music? What the heck? And then a couple months ago, somebody from my past reached out to me and was like, hey, I saw you're like doing covers again. Like, have you thought about writing music like you used to? And I was like, yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's just hard. I don't know if I could do it. They're like, you can do it. You just have to want to do it. And I was like, you know, I can do it. And I hadn't really had anybody in my life be like, you can write music. You can do that if you want to. And it was like, oh, I can. And so I started writing again and have been writing. a little bit. And the first night when I sat down and started writing was really hard. I was bawling my eyes out. But from then it got easier, and I'm really excited. Hopefully I'll have some awesome new original songs for you guys soon. I really want them to be good, so I'm kind of waiting till I have something I'm super proud of to, put it out there. But so, I mean, that's helped me, was finding my passion again and putting everything I have into it. So, if you're dealing with grief, maybe pushing yourself to do that thing you're passionate about again, even though it seems like impossible and like it'd be too hard, like pushing yourself to do it, because it's so worth it, and it will help you feel like yourself again. And surrounding yourself with people who push you and don't keep life, the same and easy and, what I had accepted. Surround yourself with people who push you to be better and make you want to be the best version of yourself, like I said. Like, it's really annoying sometimes, and you're like, well, I need a day. No, you need to get off your ass and, like, do something with your life, actually. So, like, putting those people in your life and keeping them in like, okay, yes, I need to do that. Yes, okay, like, I really needed that in my life, because I was surrounded by people who were like, oh, wow, just that you're here and doing okay after Phil died is good enough. No, there's better in me than that. And there's more to my life than that. And I really needed people in my life to help remind me of that. So I'd say that was super helpful in my journey. And one thing that I did not realize would help me, that has really helped me, maybe it just helps me because I think it's helping me, is my tattoos that I've gotten. My aunt talked to me about her friend that she met when she was in the military, he suffers from severe PTSD, and there's not enough programs for our veterans who come back from fighting and everything that's entailed in military. And he would go to I don't remember what it's called, the place for vets who need medical help, and it just was not doing what he needed. It wasn't helping enough, so he started to get tattoos every time he felt his PTSD getting bad, and it was really helping him for whatever reason. So once every 6 months or so, he goes and he gets a new tattoo, and it helps fend off the PTSD for a good 6 months. And when she said that, I was like, oh, okay, weird. I don't know if I believe that, but okay. And I got my first tattoo, my Philip tattoo, which I have a video of somewhere on the internet. So you can go watch that if you'd like to. And from then on, I've been getting tattoos almost every 6 months, and it really has helped. I don't know why. I don't know if there's any like scientific reasoning behind that or not. I'd really like to look into that. It's just interesting to think about. I don't know if, like I said, it's some kind of placebo effect. It's very possible. But it's helped. So I'm gonna keep doing it because it's helping me overcome and fend off, these bad feelings and bad thoughts. And I mean, they look pretty cool, and it's pretty cool, I guess, too. So, so I don't know if you're dealing with grief and you've thought about getting a tattoo. Just go do it, because it might help you. It might help in other ways than one. You know, obviously got the Philip tattoo because it means something to me. The rest are just ones I thought looked cool. So, I mean, you never know. It could help. It could help you get through your grief. Or if you're dealing with PTSD, it could help you. So, I mean, even if it's a thought on your mind and you've thought about it and just haven't ever done it, I would implore you to just try it out and see if it helps. Yeah. I would say that's all my advice. I can't really think of anything else. Surround yourself with really good people who love you and who want the best for you, and when they say, hey, you know, come over, do it. It's really hard, but do it. Just do those things you don't want to do, that you're like, I'd rather sit at home and cry. Just go out and do the stuff, because it'll help. At least it helped me. So big thank you to all my friends who did help me through the loss of my brother, and to those who, you know, didn't say anything or flaked, or you know, the people who told me it was my fault when I got assaulted. No hard feelings. I still love you guys, and I don't blame you. I mean, the reason we have those stigmas around assault is societal, and I think we have come a long way since then, since I went through that, and I think we know better now, hopefully. Cool. Well, thanks for watching. Sorry I don't have a singing video for you. I'm working on some really cool stuff. Ariana Grande's new album just dropped, and I might have a cover for one of her songs, maybe, in the works. So, it's exciting. Okay, thanks for watching. Hopefully this helped somebody in some way, whether it be somebody dealing with grief, or maybe somebody that has somebody in their life grieving that they don't know how to be there for them. I love you guys so much. I'm working on writing songs and so many things in the works right now, and I'm just really excited about this next chapter in my life. And yeah, I love you guys. I will see you soon. Okay, love you, bye.